Hello, and welcome to another match of the Settlers 4 World Championship 2025. Third game for the third place. Today we are watching SF Jessen as the Blue Vikings in the top right and Lemon as the Yellow Vikings in the bottom left. Now this is what we call a lag festival. I would call this unplayable. And I'm sure our players agree. Now the question is what we're gonna do about it. Okay, people are writing stuff in chat. I'm just gonna wait a bit. Seems like, huh? Okay, it seems to be running smoothly now. And with that, yeah, there was like one extra German caster that wanted to cast, but apparently his internet connection wasn't the best. So they did leave now, and now everything is fine. And yeah, we have a Viking mirror match, Lemon versus Jessen, third game for third place. And yeah, we are on a map, I think it is by Slayer, German World Championship, that he put this map in the pool. Lots of stone, well enough mountain, forest that is towards the mountain, which is unfortunate, could have been up there or down here. And river seems to be fine for both players. And yeah, we have Viking mirror match. They initially played Trojans, like Jessen played Trojans against the Romans of Lemon, and then we had a Marian mirror match. The mirror match went in Jessen's favor, and the Roman game went, like Roman Trojan game went in Lemon's favor. And from how I know these two players, their main civs are pretty strong, and for Lemon, the second is already quite a bit weaker, and third and fourth basically don't exist as like skill level wise. Like, he has played them, yes, he knows what he's doing, yes. He'd never really played them in a manner where you can say he's actually proficient at them. And for Jessen, it's more like first civ, good, second civ, some people argue is a little worse. I personally say it's quite similar in terms of skill, in terms of strength. And third and fourth civilization are then like a tiny step down, but it's not even close to as far down as it seems from my personal experience how Lemons are. Now, I didn't really see Lemon play much Settlers 4 in the last couple of days. He might have been practicing alone, or with like certain duo partner or something to practice with, to get his Vikings up, because many people were actually expecting him to pick Trojans. And I'd argue that on this map, Troja seems pretty good. Like, there's no real reason why you, from the map preview, wouldn't want to pick Troja. You have space, you have mountain, you already can see that there is a bit of snow, but you have also some space without. You should be able to fit your battery somewhere here. Get across the mountain really quickly, and then everything should be fine. But yeah, you have like lots of mountain in close vicinity. You have a million space. You have lots of tiles of space, and you can even use all of those tiles of space with All of these tiles of space can also have stone fields, so I would have expected Lemon to pick Troja from how people generally think that his Trojans are a bit better than his Vikings, and the fact that it doesn't look like a bad Trojan map. Now, I assume he cooked something up, considering that he picks Vikings here. Or he just doesn't like me and doesn't want to give me the Trojan cast, which, you know, you never know. Jessen, on the other hand, most people say that like he genuinely just likes every Civ more than Romans, which is probably the reason he picked Vikings. He would have picked Romans if the map was looking like a map where only Romans are playable, as Romans are the civilization that by far is the best at bad positions. And yeah. But he decided that this position isn't looking too bad and should be able to be played by Vikings just fine, which I agree from the starting preview, it does look pretty damn fine. Now, only issue is from the starting preview, you could already guess that the river's gonna go into the mountain and you're gonna have a short river. There's a little bit of a hurdle for Vikings. We do have a second river down here. Probably, yeah, this is like, I don't think you can really use this. There's rivers over here as well. Yeah. River situation could be rough. Like this will be enough for early game, 100%. And even for like a mid to late game it should be enough. You can just place your fishes all here. Or maybe here. Yeah, you can place your fishes all over the place, but you, and with that you can like crush all the fishes at your starting river, place only waterworks, you get like probably 6 on here, and 6 is like a pretty good amount for most things already, and if you need more you can still crush this top row of forest that you've built, which probably is gonna be running bad later down the line anyways. So, yeah, seems like a very nicely playable river. Like it's not a long, it's not a large river, but it should be working. Is it? Okay, now let's have a little bit of a look of how these dots are looking like. Resources used, at least they're pretty much exactly even. Yeah, we can see they both have 3 sawmills up, a stone cutter up. They are settlers wise almost exactly even. Why is there a few settlers difference? There are still saboteurs. No, saboteurs are for the person that has more settlers. Does Lemon have less buildings with settlers in them? He already like 6 lumberjacks going up to 8. We have 6, 8. Yeah, Jessen has a few more. Why did we just have those pings? Lots of forest, yeah, for sure. Yeah, German casters are talking about the forest situation, which, yeah, I mean, they now use their starting forest, which they to a degree have to use, there's no other way around it. And I assume that later down the line, they'll swap from using the starting forest to use either like these forests or these forests, and I think that's what they're talking about maybe, that you do tend to want to get rid of these forests, as they're kind of like towards the mountain and usually in the space you'd want to be building it. Yeah, overall we have lots of forest that has to be dealt with. Building wise it's gonna be hard to... You should be able to place stone to iron really nicely. At the beginning your stone fields are like close to the mountain as well. And space-wise, you have like only 2 tiles worth of free space to use. So they're gonna run out of space relatively quickly if they don't get rid of forests or the stone field very efficiently, like get rid of 1 stone field with most of the stone cutters at once. Yeah. Yeah, 4th sawmill now coming up for Jessen. I think he's on 10 lumberjacks to get up to his 12. Oh wait, actually 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He's on 11. 12 not being built for some reason. Yeah, on the other side, 3 sawmills so far. Stone has been flowing into some of these other buildings, as it seems. Yeah, and Lemon is significantly behind on the forest expansion here. Only being on 9 lumberjacks. Oh, never mind. Okay, Lemon already decided that he doesn't want to fit all of his 12 onto this one forest and already wants to expand towards some other forests and use those to secure his wood income for the early game. Yeah, I think in the early game it's really important to be quick with getting all your starting resources like your planks and stone used and get them into buildings that do something for you first of all. And then second of all, really important, those buildings should be the ones that use your saws, axes, and pickaxes as quickly as possible, as that is just like, it really speeds up your build no matter what you're doing. No matter if you want to go outside here, it's better to just get all your 12 built as quickly as possible than to delay a few, and by delaying a few you then delay everything quite a bit. Okay. Snowballs quite heavily. We see that stone went into lots of buildings already, one of them being the toolsmith. Iron smelter not yet getting any stone. I think houses usually it was like you build 2 medium and 2 small before the toolsmith. Yeah, we can see right now that Jessen's build up is just faster. Now there's one thing I want to check. Yeah, yes, Lemon is already building all 3 stone cutters, which definitely is delaying him a bit here compared to what Jessen is doing with only 1 stone cutter so far, but has already 4 sawmills, all 12 lumberjacks, his toolsmith up and running at the 12-minute mark, kind of what you want to see. And yeah, overall you can see that Jessen is definitely used to playing all civilizations. He usually in normal rounds plays random, uses the random option to get a random civilization and then just play whatever he gets. And you can see it, he knows how to play all of them. He knows like smaller builds for all of them. Yeah. And Lemon's toolsmith is still waiting to be finished. Builders are building it, getting it done. On the other side we see the mines already being built, as settlers seem to be looking totally fine. Something that can sometimes be an issue then. If you're toolsmith, you build your mines and you didn't quite yet finish your house in time, still producing the settlers, and you're running into settlers shortage, but this team seems to be quite fine. We see the first few axes being produced. Now here the issue now comes, I'm not quite sure where Jessen is planning to build the rest of his wood eco. So far it looks like he doesn't have anything predict, as he doesn't really have lots of forest in his land. He only really just now like got this with the last tower there. It's only starting to dig stuff down here, but that is what he's wanting to build and is gonna build. What it seems like as the next forest. adds a tower there, adds a tower there. It's gonna increase his wood income in this area. I hope he then also builds like sawmills down here, because the sawmills don't have a bad distance towards this forest and this forest, and they don't clog up your space up here, which is the space that's gonna be necessary to be used for your food and mana eco. I'd also like to already see maybe a tower towards here, to get your first lumberjacks to work on this forest and get rid of it. The space will be rather difficult on this map to manage if you don't get rid of the forests early. And on inside we see that the wood expansion here is now fully coming as well, the mines being quite a bit delayed as the toolsmith was. Why the hell do I see 3 pickaxes? So there are 2 options here. Either Lemon misclicked and made pickaxes for no good reason, or he thought of playing a different civilization, making pickaxes in the early game here, which is like, it's the case for all civs, maybe not Romans, I'm not quite sure, I don't actually know Romans that much. Let me think about it. No, with Romans you don't need pickaxes right off rip, because you can build your 5 stone cutters, and 5 stone cutters is plenty. Pretty sure they start with axes as well, so I am a bit confused about these pickaxes. Like, that's a wild play. Actually pinged that there because I think it's an interesting thing to see, and other casters might be interesting, seeing that Lemon Sofa has only made pickaxes. Well, Jessen still... Yes, Jessen has his 5th sawmill up and running now. The mines are finished, mines have bread, mines have meat. They also have their workers. And we are therefore producing first bits of coal and iron and get it towards the iron smelter and toolsmith, and things seem to be running smoothly. Saboteurs are being made. Why did he make so many pickaxes? Well, we'll find out later in the interview, I assume. Okay, let's have a look at the mines. Wow, that mine is placed by both players, so I hope and assume that both players paid attention and it is fine. Because this mine looks also fine. It could technically be a perfect bucked iron mine or bucked iron spot. As this is like the perfect, like this is exactly how a bucked iron spot would look like, with and a normal iron spot technically has a bit more iron around it, but since there are no signs showing us the stuff around here, we can't say that it is a bucked iron mine for sure. Like, it could technically still have iron around it and be a normal iron spot. Now on the other side we can probably tell that it is a normal iron spot. Now here we can also tell that it might have other issues with the snow here. Am I looking at the same stuff? I think this is... There's one weird thing in Settlers 4, which I like. I mean, there are multiple weird things. But one of the weird things is that if you look at this snow here really closely, you can realize that this snow patch is on this edge. This edge here should be formed exactly the same on this side. And I think you can very nicely see that this bump here, it just doesn't exist. Like you can kind of say it's like this bump, but this bump isn't as big as this one is. especially since we are seeing the side that goes up the mountain. On the side that it goes up the mountain, you usually have things are stretched out a bit. So usually you would expect it to look larger here than it would look on the back side. The back side is like kind of, I don't know, put together like it's going down, and therefore like visually you can see these signs. Like these signs here are really close together. These signs here are really far apart. That's kind of the difference. And yeah, so this is like, it is a short bump. This bump is way bigger. This is to the right. This should be visually looking a bit shorter if it was exactly the same. And overall, the whole curvature is slightly different. It's mostly the same, but it's a weird thing that snow generation on the mountains for some reason is not 100% the same. I do not know why. I only know that that is the case. And now while I was talking about random snow, and they seem to have picked a normal coal mine, and I assume a normal iron mine, as both players picked the same iron mine. Let's actually have a look at what they have been doing. We see a hunter coming up here apparently. Stonecutter expansion seems to be coming up here now. We are seeing 7 sawmills, which I'd say is like kind of the minimum you want to play with Vikings. You technically can play always less, but I never feel like there's a real reason to do that. I think we're gonna see an 8th sawmill here come up at the bottom as well. And then we have the wood eco that seems to be finished. Mostly, at least. Maybe he's gonna add a few lumberjacks here and the other forests to get rid of them. On the other side, we see Jessen with currently also 7 sawmills, also adding stonecutters, but it seems that his stonecutters have been finished mostly. You see already all 6 being finished, while here on this side these just finished. 5 and 6 just finished. But we see in initial grain farm timing, 21 minutes we are in already. I do not know where that time went, but sure, apparently we are 21 minutes in, seeing the first few grain farms being built by both players, as here at least with the resources. And I'm wondering, do we see an 8th sawmill? I feel like this probably is a pre-placed 8th sawmill. I'd wonder what else it would be. Yeah, both players were digging or are digging across the mountain. Trying to shorten the distance here as well. Oh, and here. Probably wouldn't have done this, but it can be nice. Already get the tower in here, because this won't connect proper, like perfectly. You might place one here, and then you're like, do I really want to place one here now to get like this bit of land? So yeah, understandable to say the very least. Yeah, first 2 grain farms are finished. You see that Lemon has made pickaxes, plenty. 3 pickaxes is just lying around in the stone field. No thieves are on the map, so there is no real like that wasn't due to thieves, which otherwise could be a thing. Yeah, and what I wanted to say is the Scythes here are still at the Starling Tower. They were not microed over with some thieves to get these grain farms working earlier. But it seems like that his grain farm timing is slightly bit better than Jessen's, although Jessen had the quicker early game. A little bit confused by that, because I was looking too much at the mountain and I don't really know what's happened. But it seems like we see it now being like, yeah, the first few grain farms did finish quicker for Lemon, but apparently Jessen is also focusing more on the mana chain than the the food chain, which is a less common play, I'd say. Oh my goodness, there are many red dots on the minimap. It's a less common thing because usually you are going to be food starved before you're going to be mana starved. As like you use your mana for stone to iron, and then later for getting some deers. Yeah, use the I don't know, wild spell, whatever it's called, to get your deers. And with that, yeah, usually people build enough mana that with the mana they build, they get enough. They have some combat mana, and usually you run out of bread before you run out of combat mana that you could convert and just use as economy mana. And with that being said, usually people run out of bread before they run out of mana, and you don't really even have to expand your initial mana in economy at all in most cases. Are we gonna see? I think this is usually quite a difficult stage to play as Vikings, as you kinda want to build your grain farms, and then want to build your beekeepers, and you want to build like the rest of the production chain for the bread, then you want to build the rest of the production chain for the mana, and doing all that you want to also build settlers and make sure your grain never overflowed on your grain farms or your honey, and you need to get your water ready in time. Like, it's personally quite a difficult stage to play Vikings in, although I'd also say that Vikings are in general quite difficult to play. You need to build really large forests that have to or should try to be stable for a very long time, which is like a difficulty that kind of slows you down compared to other civs. And then you have the most complex food economy build up with building mana and food to just get food, essentially. Yeah, things aren't easy. What I can say to that, it is manageable for sure. I mean, there are Viking players that compete with any other civ, so of course a game tries to be balanced, but it's in my opinion a little bit harder to do with other civs, as it's less simple, less straightforward. Even Trojans, they just build mana and a battery afterwards, and then they get their food, and other civs just build grain and yeah, just put enemy ranches and mills down. It's not that difficult. And it seems, yeah, the honey is now being produced. We do see the rest of the mana chain also finished up. It seems like Jessen is not wasting any honey, which is nice to see. On the other side, I think Lemon's grain farms should not yet... actually they do produce their first few grain, but the mills are finished in time, as you want to see it. Now, I think I was... oh yeah. So yeah, I was in Jessen settlement, and I was thinking that there was a little bit of a settlers shortage. I just checked at the actual settlers numbers, and I now am certain. 80 settlers into your grain farms and beekeepers starting to like produce honey and produce grain. You just that just doesn't work. It's not even close to working. I think you want to have at least 150 settlers. If not, like you need 200 at the end of all of this for sure. So yeah, 80 is a mile off. On the other side, we have like 130, which I think I just saw like a few settlers standing. Like, it is just enough for the time being, but it's gonna like once all grain farms started to actually gather the grain, all the Well, all the bakeries already asked for water. We do have the water here, so it seems like things are fine for now. Oh, I love you, game. That, by the way, no, I don't know why sometimes the game just teleports the camera like that. The pickaxes are slowly but surely being used. So far, something that I have heard, I've kind of felt felt the same myself, is that with Vikings you kind of want to focus on getting rid of one stone field step by step, instead of spreading your stone cutters on one stone field, then another one, then another one, because the stone cutters are already really large, and since they're really large, they kind of always have shitty distance, like walking distances. They aren't as efficient as other stone cutters. And at the same time, while the stone cutters aren't as efficient, you just don't need that much stone. You only build 5 stone cutters on one stone field. That will take ages to be gone, and you kind of just want to get rid of them as Vikings, and don't want to have them stay for a long time. Building like 8 on one is like a thing you should actually kind of do to just get the space. And yeah, Lemon seems to be going through this quite nicely right now. No settlers shortage, there's no honey stacking up. Only thing I have noticed by now is that there actually is not a second beekeeper coming up. That is a way you can play. Most people will play a 2-3-3. What's it called? Like they build the mana chain that way. 2 beekeepers, 3 of the in-between building, and 3 of the small temple. He's gonna go for 1-2-2 build-up, which is fine. It will be less mana, and it will specifically be less combat mana. Is this the second beekeeper? Yeah, I think I'm sold. I think this is the second beekeeper indeed. So it's the late second beekeeper, which I mean is, you can play it that way. Sure. If you want to make sure that the honey and the grain you actually produce is being used, that's a smart play for sure. Because right now we see he has, okay, how many grain farms did he actually play? He plays 4 grain farms. That is on the smaller side of things. There are quite a few people that play 5 grain farms. And what I'm also seeing here is that we see quite a bit of bread starting to stack up. He did already place the second coal mine, but he has to start placing more coal mines to use his bread. Or what I also always like is to just initially have bread and coal storage. That is quite an efficient way to store the bread. Storing it on your mine, like putting it on your mines and then storing the coal will use up more storage space. And yeah, you just want to make sure that your bakeries aren't overflowing. Okay, let's have a look here at Jessen. Jessen seems to have fixed the settlers issue fully. And has now a running mana eco. We only see 2 small temple yet. Third one has to still be added. Oh. Large temple is gonna finish up. There are 5 Cs on the map for Lemon. And I should now be able to... Yes. Swap to Lemon's vision, and we don't see the areas he has seen at earlier points. Like this swordsman or bowman or whatever had to walk through here to see that, so we don't see that part. But we can see that thieves have not yet went outside his land. They must be somewhere inside. I think this is going back to normal. Nice. Yeah, I think we see some small and large houses here. Is what I'm mostly assuming he would at least want to be building. He's going up to the 233 with 4 grain farms. I think Jessen is playing also 4 grain farms and also 2, 3, 3? Question mark? I see 3 small temple, but I'm only seeing 2 of those. Maybe some of these random buildings are just gonna be that. This, I think, is a large house. And both players are gonna prep to go into heavy industry, but I think both players run into the exact same issue here. Where space? Where space? Where building? Lemon a little bit less, as he kind of like he placed some grain farms outside of this area. No, Lemon is just a little bit behind here. Like Lemon has like 50 less settlers. Lemon doesn't have his large temple yet. Lemon doesn't have all 3 small temples. Like this area is gonna be used for him as well, and then it's the same area both players have for their heavy industry right now. Lemon has tried to get rid of the forest a bit more actively. It's already pre-stored quite a bit of stone, while Jessen has less stone pre-stored. So yeah, but it's rough. Like there's no space. It's rough. You could consider getting rid of your starting forests a bit, like crush forests, replace them on the outside somewhere. To get space quickly, you can use, like, Jessen now has a priest. He could use that priest to get rid of forests if he uses the like shortcut spell that is usually used on snow, on just normal terrain. He will make flowers appear, and those flowers will get rid of any objects in the way as well. And here we see the thieves doing their job standing around. And yeah, it seems like that Jessen, not Lemon, I mean, is replacing the forest here with something else. It might be waterworks, it might be whatever else. We'll see later. It seems to be that Lemon can't really fit that many waterworks onto this river, which is a bit unfortunate. It was like only 4. Let's have a look how much we can see here. Yeah, it seems like Jessen could have built 5. I'm a little bit uncertain if he crushes this fissure, if he can actually fit a 5th waterwork. I think right now the way he builds it, he can fit a 4th here, not a 5th there. Only 3 waterworks. He will need a 4th waterwork to keep everything running stable. At least I think it was that way. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't played Vikings in a while, so I only prepped them myself for the tournament, and then gloriously failed with them, as they are quite difficult to play. They are quite the opposite of easy. Lemon now building a large temple. but it doesn't really seem like he's going into heavy industry yet. I think these might be like first weaponsmiths. They seem to be relatively large compared to the rest of the heavy industries of the Vikings. We don't see any barracks placed for either player. It's rough, it's rough. I'm eager to see how how the players play this, because space just doesn't exist anymore. I think so far they've played it quite a lot how I would have expected it to be played. Only thing is, I think both players didn't do a great job at just getting rid of this force. Like straight up towering early here, building your first 2 lumberjacks like really early onto this. Then once you've towered past it while conquering the mountain a bit more, already having like more lumberjacks, like really just get rid of it. Get rid of this force as quickly as possible, and then you get rid of this as quickly as possible, and this as quickly, like do it like step by step how I similarly said with the stone field. Like you don't want to split them too much, because that won't really give you efficient space. You can see right now for Lemon, he has kind of gotten this area because he did place these 2 here in a relatively nice time, and he kind of got this area. But if he would have had one here as well, the forest would have been like really thin and really small at this point, and he could have used pretty much all of this area. So we do see one here, and he generally is adding more as he sees the issue and is knowing how to deal with it. It's just a question of if it's early enough that he actually tries to deal with it. I think should have tried to deal with it earlier, but that is how things are. His large temple finished, his priest is ready. He could now do the first stone to iron converter. Oh my. This is not a Marion storing wood for their for like late game wood, like wood to gold or something like that. This is what we call a Viking that tried to use 8 sawmills, I assume, and just couldn't. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. No, it's 9. I guess if Lemon had to store this, how many? 35 diggers. I mean, it isn't bad. Gonna build some heavy industry now, which is a bit more digger efficient than like these small temples, for example. I think Jessen probably stayed on only 8 sawmills. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. I like that a lot more. I don't see a reason you build a 9th sawmill when you don't have space anyways. Like your diggers are just gonna walk distances that you just can't use it. I guess Lemon could... No, Lemon already built a few. Good chunk of mines. Like, there's not even a reason to build way more mines or anything like that. That's rough. It's not gonna use that wood. He even is behind in resources used, so apparently he did not manage his diggers as nicely, unless it's mostly mines for Jessen. But I mean, we can see it visually. That there are 4 weaponsmiths, 5 weaponsmiths standing, and gold smelters. I think 2nd iron smelter. And yeah, this barracks has to finish soon. Really, really soon. Yeah, without those barracks, these storages will run full really fast, and with them being full, Aegis is not gonna be able to recruit anything. Viking barracks are not good, they are not fast, they are slow. I'm pretty sure they are straight up the worst barracks in the game in terms of recruitment speed. And yeah, 1 barracks, like they have the fastest weaponsmiths, like 5 weaponsmiths, other civs, all of them would easily do it with 1 single barracks. Vikings, 1 barracks on 5 Viking weaponsmiths can cut it, like it can able to recruit, like is able to recruit that, but it won't be able to recruit it if, for example, like this is really close to the stone storage. So he might have settlers stopping here, cast stone to iron, all settlers run away. Then he also has the issue if the soldiers are full, I'm pretty sure the barracks won't really be able to recruit all of it quickly. Maybe over a long time, I'm not quite sure how that exactly plays out, but I do know that it will take a long time, if it even works, to actually be able to recruit everything that is in the storages. But yeah, Jessen seems to be quite a bit ahead right now. First bits of heavy industry are working, he's storing it away. Lemon is now also actually using it. Using it, yes, I mean, as weapons were standing. It seems like only 3 weaponsmiths and 1 gold smelter. As I said, quite a bit behind. We don't see any significant amounts of mead on these iron mines. Something that I've heard bitter Viking players tend to do is cast some deers on their starting hunter to keep the iron mines they have running for quite a long time. And we can see here as well, like, we have forests around it, quite a few, and there's not really anything happening here. He has the land conquered like quite a bit here. We could easily just cast it there and won't really have the issue that the deers are gonna run away, otherwise could become an issue. Yeah, 45 minutes in, and yeah, Jessen has produced about 45 weapons and a proper amount of gold for it. Lemon is only at 20, and yeah, we see quite a bit more eco on Jessen's side standing overall. He has more resources used, and yeah, I mean, in terms of like weaponsmiths, he has 5 weaponsmiths running. If he just keeps them running till Peace Psalm, he already has plenty of weapons. Why do I not have any music? Oh no, okay. I was just a pause in between. And yeah, Lemon's side, we see that's only 3 weaponsmiths as well. Like, he has less weapons, of course, and also less weaponsmiths. That's when I heard him. It's not like he has any significant more amounts of mana either. He delayed his second beekeeper a bit and overall delayed his mana eco compared to Jessen. Like, Jessen built his first beekeepers before the grain farms. That could make Jessen run into a coal issue, but if he like builds up step by step more, then it should be fine, and we'll see how that goes. Settlers seem to be fine on both players' sides as well. Arguably, Lemon is a bit too fine, because we can see that Jessen has around 400 settlers, and we see plenty standing. This is a good chunk. I think this house is producing, might actually finish. No, it's still producing a bit more. I think this is enough settlers. I mean, he wants to start recruiting, probably, at least he should want to start. And for that, he would want to have a large house finishing up and stuff like that. Like, get a few more settlers. And on the other hand, Lemon has like 60 more settlers. He has less eco standing. And yeah, we see there's like so many settlers standing. Like, he could have had like 2-3 more gold smelters or something like that, instead of using that much or building that many settlers. We are actually seeing that at least Lemon is now kind of able to handle the space issue a bit more, since he placed so many lumberjacks in this area, that things are actually starting to disappear, like the forest starts to disappear here, he could place quite a few buildings in the area. I do not know what his diggers are doing. Ouch. Oh, the digger is running all the way up here. Does hurt quite a bit. Digging so many fishes. We also see a shipyard, what it seems to be. Yes, and barely is here in this area working. Stone to iron. And yeah, Jessen is kind of finding his space to still be building stuff. He is now recruiting. He's finished the barracks. Is recruiting into his sawmills. So why not? Yeah, he has settlers standing. It should be fine. Yeah, he's at the point as well now where building is difficult. We can see sawmills are not fully running anymore. Same thing goes for Lemon. But you know, sawmills, they still worked. They worked for the reasons though. Now what we can notice, oh, I think that's a good observation here. We're missing a small tower to expand the land. To use disappear, because like where are you gonna build stuff? You need space, and especially space in this top region, because that's where your diggers mostly are. Did already build heavy industry down here, it's killing his forest a bit. And we'll see how that goes later on the line. What did I want to say? I had something in mind. Oh, no. It's not like Jessen has many lumberjacks that are trying to get rid of forests. But since his sawmills aren't fully... Oh my goodness, they just use all the wood again. But technically, if he gets to the point where his sawmills aren't running anymore because they're full of planks, I think he did add a 9th sawmill. Did he actually? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Wow. He wants to build. He's more than 100 resources ahead, and he apparently wants to increase that distance even further. And I don't think he has... Yeah, they both are on 39 diggers. Jessen is also... Oh no, he's on less builders. Interesting. This gives me the kind of vibe that Jessen is just managing his diggers way better. I feel like the biggest part where we could notice it is when we watched at Jessen's settlement and saw so many fishes up here. He must have... Like, I'm not remembering Lemon to be one of the players where he's really efficient with his... I'd say digger micro in that sense even, because he's like you can, if you the best way to micro your diggers is by never place a building unless you see diggers standing. And when you see diggers standing, then you can place a building right next to them. And in this case, you would regularly look up with your camera here, see, oh, my diggers finished digging this fissure, and then they go to the next, and then they go to the next, and then they go to the next. Like, you do that, and you have like 3-4 diggers up here that always just do this, and then it's very efficient because all the others can still be in this area. Almost nobody in the settlers community actually does it because almost everybody is just too bad. It is possible. And only the really, really good players are doing it. Not sure if Lemon does it. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I would definitely, I know he would know about it, could do it kind of thing, but I have zero clue he actually does it, as it is relatively rare, and I can only think of like the top players where I know for certain they do it. I have started to try doing it. always when I do manage to do it properly, it feels amazing, as it feels like you just are able to build way more, you're able to dig way more. But it's not easy. We can see both players have started recruiting, and Jessen seems to be mostly done with recruiting in terms of his gold. Now that's a bit unfortunate, but he is still not quite 30 soldiers ahead. I guess more like 25 soldiers ahead, and Lemon already ran into the same issue. But I think with even less weapons. Let me look here. Yeah, Lemon has less soldiers out, less weapons out, less gold, less weapons, less soldiers, everything less. So again, Jessen is just straight up ahead in every way. Let me check. I've seen this a bit ago that Lemon has 25 thieves out. Funny that I look at Lemon's side and I see Jessen's thief run in, because Jessen also has 5 thieves out. It's hilarious. I wanted to check at Jessen's thieves afterwards, but Lemon apparently seems to only have thieves because he rushed like a house early and didn't want to waste settlers. That's apparently what it seems. Now, if we look at Jessen's perspective, we can see we have a thief go up there, we have a thief come in there, so Jessen is starting to do some actual active scouting. He even sends in a few more thieves, as he's now up to 11 thieves. Yeah. It's also starting to have geologists on that. Ooh, thief all the way down here. You know, we can see that he scouted the tower. Overall, it's about to be PT, so I'm expecting both players to start a bit more of the scouting action. Yeah, and Lemon is actually producing tier 3 Axe warriors. What do we see here? Yeah, he started to build tier 2 swordsmen and tier 2 Axe warriors. He definitely did make a few tier 3 swordsmen and a few tier 3 Axe warriors. But it seems like the recruiting has fully switched to tier 2 for the melee units at least. Tier 3 bowmen apparently seem to still be only tier 3. I'm not 100% liking this gold diversification here. Technically, so Axe warriors scale a bit weirdly. They are tier 1 and tier 2 Axe warriors do the same damage. Axe warriors have a range of 2. Swordsmen have only a range of 1, and since they only have a range of 1, they are always frontlining and usually are the units tanking. Tier 2 Axe warriors have lots of HP. They have like as much HP as a tier 3 sword or something. Like it's really crazy. They have lots of HP. They don't have that much damage, as they still have the same damage as tier 1 Axes. And with the amount of swordsmen he makes, I'd probably prefer tier 2 swords with tier 1 Axes, where the Axe warriors are more for the damage. The tier 2 swordsmen are tanking. And then, yeah, technically it would be tier, like if you go down, like if maximum of gold, everything tier 4s. Then you go down to tier 2 swords with tier 3 Axes. Then you go down to tier 2 swords with tier 1 Axes. And at some point you go down to both tier 1. That is how I'd usually try to do it. You know, has quite a few tier 2 axes. They're really good at tanking. If you don't combine the 2 unit types, and you're just like, screw it, I'm playing mostly axes, you just try to have them as high level as possible, of course. Because most people will do that. They are trying to avoid the swordsman, as they are. I mean, they're not the special unit, you know. I mean, they have the advantages over the Axe Warriors, but usually people just play the Axe Warriors, have a really strong flank, and they tend to be a little better at that than swords. But it would actually be best if you just try to combine them at least a little bit. Try to have your Axe Warriors come in a bit early, so they tank, then they stop in the second row, like they like one tile away from the enemy, and then the swordsmen come in after that. They take it. The Axe Warriors have pre-tanked a bit, and then the swordsmen come in the first row. They are tanking, they are dealing damage, don't die early. That would be an optimal engagement. Yeah, PT is almost over. Let's have a last quick look over the economy. We see a shipyard for Lemon that is finished. Not yet building any ships, but probably is gonna try to deny a bit of fish for Jessen. Overall, Jessen lost a bit of his resources used advantage, as I think he just ran out of space. But yeah, Lemon's economy so far looks like it's mostly orientated around stone to iron yet. Still, I should say, he has iron mines as well, actually, quite a few, and he has this like hunter battery to cast deer and produce meat that way. He also is starting to add quite a few iron smelters. Iron weaponsmiths, we have like 7 standing. With gold smelters, apparently enough for the gold mines that seem to not be that much. I have been paying very little amount of attention to the gold mines. Okay, that was Lemon's economy. Let's have a look first at the stats here. We have 150 against 200 soldiers. For Lemon, everything is actually tier 3, like the 150, every part of that is tier 3, besides the 19 starting soldiers. While Jessen has around 70 tier 2 and almost 30-ish tier 1, like that's quite a bit. Doesn't have nearly as much tier 3 units. Jessen therefore has 100 mana and Lemon only like 60. And with that, let's have a quick look here. How many weaponsmiths are running for Jessen? It seems to also be 7. He does not yet have a hunter battery. He has 2 hunters here. He might cast deers occasionally there. Maybe he's adding a 3rd. Who knows? This is a bakery. Apparently there was some grain farm expansion already. Yes, it seems like there was. The economy should be running further. Jessen is going in. And yeah, I mean, he has conquered less of the mountain, which I assume results in less gold, and the less gold assumes in the less quality on the field. Combat power is 103 for Lemon against 114 for Jessen. Okay, let's check. So I think these are Lemon's Axe Warriors. That is the wrong PoE. I want to have this PoE. We see there were some C's pre-scouting. He seems to have seen this. Yeah, see right behind that. Not quite sure if he saw the actual barracks, but I mean, you can kind of guess where they are. The Axe Warriors of Lemon seem to be pulling back. And Lemon is probably gonna go into a defensive stance as Jessen again just beats him over across the map. Jessen has pretty good chances here in my opinion. Let's go back to the overall vision. One of the C's there, if Jessen just died close to the mountain. And yeah, Lemon is moving forward, surprising to me. Doesn't have combat power. Jessen, I assume, is building beautification somewhere. He's building beautifications. He's gonna wait for 119. I think he built enough buildings that if with a full beautification set, he should be at 119. He still has so many weapons in storage. Stop building tier 3 bowmen. Make anything else so that you actually use the weapons. They could be so useful. Like Lemon is still making mostly tier 3. It seems Jessen just wants to do something, but I feel like the way he is doing it right now, he is in the disadvantage. And it's also like he's making tier 3 bowmen. Oh wait, actually I now know why Jessen had so little gold. He had so little fish. Boy. Didn't analyze that. But I just figured that out all of a sudden. Yeah, with Lemon having so much more tier 3, sure he doesn't have 107 defensive, but what are you fighting against him with? First of all, this so far is a little less than this, because walking distances, we have units standing around doing nothing, and the rest is still walking quite a bit. And second of all, this is like a low quality mix of everything against high quality bowmen and X warriors. The high quality X warriors are shredding through the low quality melee unit. And I mean, even like bowman departments, kind of same thing. Like, I mean, you just have more bowmen, you should be winning. And now it's starting to pay off that Lemon tried to get his fish in order. He did actually manage to use up all the wood he had pre-stored. Apparently his wood that he pre-stored wasn't as much as he was behind Jessen. Jessen is still a bit ahead, the resources used. But that is quite interesting to see. Oh. Oh. Right. Yeah. Oh, good. We now have 107 offensive. Or Lemon. Did Lemon go into like a grain farm expansion yet? I don't think so. No? He's starting down here. That will take quite a bit till it pays off. And Weaponsmiths of Jessen seem to be running nicely, and he's starting to transfer into iron smelters and iron mines as well. Oh, he has a third hunter there. And yeah, apparently he seems to be casting some deers in this area. Oh, and Jessen is going in. Jessen is going full in. Nope, he decides that he doesn't want to take this fight as clumped as he is right now. He spreaded himself a bit more and now he is going in. I hope the priests are close by. The X-Warriors here in the flank are not doing much yet. They feel like they should have already been engaged. Now there's a blood rush for units that mostly have died. Like going in so spread out, I think just wasn't a good play. He has a 119 combat power. His bowmen are quite a bit stronger than the ones of Lemon, but Lemon has more quality on the field. And he has more units, probably in the fight, as Jessen units, quite a few of them are still walking. The freeze here on the tier 3 X-Warriors is huge. And yeah, we see that lots of these like tier 1 melees, they are coming in like one by one, are mostly just dying. They are tanking for the really strong tier 3 bowmen that have the combat power. But this is not the kind of engagement you like to take. We see that Lemon has way more kills so far. And the tier 3 X-Warriors at the bottom, they ain't gonna die either, as they have been just freeze a bunch, but the bowmen, there's no bowmans to kill them. It's not a nice fight. Even a mine battery was placed here. It's complete rollover by Jessen. By Lemon, I mean. Like, Jessen is being rolled over by Lemon. Lemon did place a few mines behind Jessen, so that Jessen's retreat is worse. He does need to make sure that he's crushing the mines once he is going through them himself. It seems like he does. So she should be getting more kills. I think pretty much all of that is gonna die. Nah, he's starting to forget. But the X-Warriors are slightly faster than Bowman. They're, in terms of speed, in between Swordsman and Bowman. And since they're in between, they are able to, yeah, catch up to these Bowmen, get a few more hits off, get a few more kills. And Jessen is pulling back. Jessen still has mana in the bank. He didn't use everything. And now Lemon is going for the winning move. Killing the fish. Because killing the fish will win him the game. Long term at least. It won't win him the game immediately, but it will make sure that you can just sit like 20 minutes in your own land. If the enemy doesn't have fish, what's he gonna do? Nothing. And yeah, you should, as Vikings, and just also make sure you're waiting a bit. You only kill fishes that are done building, or like almost done building, like last resource needed for highest value. Now Jessen stopped running away, slightly outside of Lemon's land still, so Lemon would not have offensive combat power, with the Bowman at least. Ooh. Jessen, that's something that Lemon could have done as well, freezing the units that were running away, gives him the opportunity to kill them. Now Jessen is standing in the stone field, Lemon wouldn't be, so it's not the nicest Bowman line to fight with. And Lemon still has more, like he traded almost 2-1. There are about the same soldiers on the field, but the quality is still like Lemon doesn't have any bad quality soldiers, and Jessen has around 50. And Lemon even has more soldiers on the field. It's, I said about even or something, but Lemon has more soldiers. There's a bit of kind of combat mana still available for Jessen, it seems. Able to fear these units. We can see it, he just has less, he has less quality. That's the main part. And I think even of the non-quality soldiers that he could produce, he did not yet produce everything. Still so much stored up, units not walking forward. And the fears are, yeah, there for both players is Lemon. I mean, he didn't build much less mana, and he is using it as well. I feel like this game is pretty damn a GG. And we can also see that the same phenomenon, reinforcements being ginormous. Jessen is only really sending them in waves. Lemon has a stream of units, I want to say, but it's like barely anything. I mean, it probably still is like it. Not the biggest production. Maybe it stopped for a bit in between settler shortage. Maybe he didn't cast Zone to Iron, which was he still relying on, or something like that. Is what I'm expecting. Yeah, Lemon is making a move, and Lemon isn't actually using his victory blow, you know, finishing blow. This ship alone can win him the game. Kill all the 2, 3, 6 fishes. 6 fishes, then your enemy's down on 4 fishes, so what's he gonna do? Build no quality? Exactly, that's what he's gonna do. You can build a fisher or 2 down here, you can get saboteurs, get rid of these fishes as well, and you just win the game. Lemon is utilizing his ship now. He did 1 shot on the first fisher, he did a shot on the second fisher. And yeah, Viking ships do a lot of damage. Every shot costs 4 mana as well. So he should now be out of mana and he can't really shoot anymore. And Jessen is now in a predicament. He could try defending his coastline with Bowman, I guess. Even that doesn't sound like a very attractive thing to do. Because if you do that, first of all, you aren't really able to defend it. Actually, Bowman here, Bowman there, Fishes here. Ship will die if it goes through here, and to reach like this fissure, it would have to go through. Yeah, Lemon sees the melees here, which is also a huge thing for Lemon. Like, he knows now there are melees going up this way, melees going up that way. Tends to be a sign for the melees to try to do a walk around. Lemon has ceased standing here anyways, but it's just making it very clear that that is a thing that Jessen is planning for, is knowing of, is a play that is in his mind. And yeah, Lemon is getting rid of the fish here. Still, he has to take this fish as well, and do not shoot at any of these. Okay. Oh, there was a fish still there. Didn't see that. But yeah, Jessen is gonna be fish starved, no matter how many gold mines there are. You'll always need fish for them. Currently the gold smelters he has apparently seem to still have enough gold ore. I mean, his weapon count I don't think is actively rising. It might have been a bit, wasn't paying too much attention. Are these enemy Axe warriors? Yes. Lemon is just kind of wandering in with some Axe warriors all over the place. And yeah, he sees the swordsman coming. Build a second ship. I don't think that is quite necessary. Yeah, we see the thieves are going back. He knows what's coming and he should prepare for it. Not quite sure what that ping is about. Oh, that's a tower. He wants to tower forward. So 1 hour and 15 minutes. ET for that is over. Let's have a look at what Jessen. What does he know? Yeah, he knows the exact placement of the barracks, which I am not surprised. I mean, he had thieves all over the place in Lemon Settlement. And so I assume he wants to make the striking, he wants to strike through here. As it's like kind of the only real way you can go. Could go above as well. Like go this way. Okay, Lemon seems to be making a move forward a bit more. Yeah, if we look at the mountain here. Actually, you can go. That would be the optimal way to path. Lemon is holding back a few soldiers, not much. And there's no priest with this, so it's only a little dangerous. It's not that dangerous. Well, I'm not yet shooting at the last fisher there. Yes, now actually taking the defensive stance. Trying to take a fight where I assume Lemon is standing inside the buildings here. And he can kind of stand inside his pretty dead forest. Maybe even crush a forest or lumberjack or two. and then should have quite a good combat line. On the other side, or on the other hand, we also see that resources used, Lemon pulled ahead quite a bit. I think it's mostly due to the fact that he just straight up got rid of all of these forests. And with him getting rid of these forests, he actually has space to be building all the time. He has a grain farm expansion. I'm missing a manor expansion. I feel like that would be very nice. You see one now there. Yeah, he just is able to keep building while Jessen really struggles to find space to build things. Fishes are being killed as well. His beekeepers down here now. It's like, yeah, rough to be building if you didn't get rid of all of those forests, and seems like a fight is brewing. So far, I like Jessen's position more. He can crush his forester, maybe this forester, maybe these lumberjacks if you really want to. But you're gonna have a slight concave, as it seems. But these like reinforcements could come into the flank here to kind of ruin his day. But yeah, he built a little bit of a mine wall, and yeah, the mine wall now, especially on the retreat, really does wonders. Yeah, Lemon decided that, oh, I can't really retreat out of this nicely. He did kind of pull Jessen into a bad combat line here at the bottom now. Jessen is crushing the lumberjacks because of that. He is not crushing the gold smelter though, which I think he should. He doesn't have fish anyways, he won't have much gold ore. Without much gold ore, what are you gonna use your gold smelter for? Like right now he has gold on it, but even then you can rebuild that one gold smelter. It's not gonna do as much work as winning the fight would help you out. And it seems like Lemon has used his mana on destroying buildings. Since he used his mana on destroying buildings, he needs his mana on for the economy as well. He doesn't have any more combat mana available, while on Jessen actually uses mostly his combat mana. He has iron bars on Moss, so it seems to be fine. And he managed to take a good fight. He managed to have the soldier's advantage, fight with mostly tier 3. He has a 107 defensive, and fighting with a better combat line just kinda can... Even fighting against like slightly, like with one tick a disadvantage can just be the difference. At the same time, it seems like that Lemon has pulled back quite a few units for the swordsman that Jessen sent around, and with pulling, with keeping that many soldiers at home that way, he also was able to take a better fight. It's classic play with the enemy, where you don't achieve a good trade with the units you'd send there, but you achieve a good trade by them having to either Lemon would have had to go back. Lemon didn't do that. As Lemon didn't do that, he took a bad fight here, which now, I was talking about a 2-to-1 trade. This now was also a 2-to-1 trade in the other person's favor, which now means they are essentially even. And with essentially even, that puts Jessen into a bit of an advantage. He has a few more soldiers, but those are mostly tier 2. Rest is pretty damn even, and I said that the fish here would really kill Jessen as it kills the gold income, but I have zero clue where the gold is coming from. He only has now only 3 fishes working. He used to have 4 fishes working when this one was still standing. Like, Jessen just doesn't have good fish income. And he gets to get rid of these saboteurs as well. And keep Lemon from towering. And if he towers far forward as well, you kind of can use that as a, like, you can defend here. Well, technically you can defend here, that like defending right in front of your land would be optimal. You're technically still on your half of the map, but the enemy has the worst combat power. That would be optimal, would be amazing. And we see fish is doomed. With 2 fishes. Jessen. How? Did he have a settlers shot? I mean, he has plenty of settlers right now. Where does this gold ore come from? Huh? I do not understand. I do not understand. Jessen could get across here and build fishers here as well. That's a space where there's at least no shipyard yet for Lemon. Lemon has plenty of fishes. He could put fish on oh yes, fish. He doesn't. He has plenty of fishes, but he doesn't have plenty of fish. Yeah, his settlers seem to be quite a lot thinner than Jessen's. Like, they have the same amount of settlers, but Lemon's economy is larger. He has more resources used. Especially fish and gold ore play a big part in using settlers. Okay, Jessen is now starting to take is now moving very boldly forward. I think this could, this turns into the Trojan Roman game they had, where it's constant back and forth and back and forth. At least it could turn that way. We'll see how it goes. Right now, Jessen is happy that he's able to build fishers again, and he just kind of has to rebuild fishers here the entire time, and at least get value out of the fact that Lemon constantly uses 4 mana on every single fisher you build. Which, at least short term, is really good trade. Long term, not the best trade, but even long term it can be a good trade if Jessen isn't able to use his entire sawmill capacity anyways. And that is what it seems, and it's usually the case in this kind of late game scenario. Jessen should have also built a tower to tower back a bit of the land. I think that is a tower. Yeah, you kind of want to get as many fishers here as possible, at the same time build a tower. Rough spot. Rough situation to decide on what you feel like is more valuable as well. Oh, funny. I think this ship might kill us, score a kill here. Oh, is it able to get close enough? It is. Doom. 1 less swordsman for Jessen. Oh, they are taking another fight. Why is Jessen moving forward? Like, why? There's no real reason you should. Yeah, get these in a flanking position. Fight here. Fight right in front of your land. You're the person. He feels like fish is an issue, and that is understandable. But you can also, if you build all these fishes, you should be fine enough. He doesn't know that settlers are thin for. Actually, settlers are probably not thin anymore. Lemon built plenty more by now, has plenty more. These bowmen should spread, and I think he can take a fight. He has more soldiers on the field. Seems like his soldiers are still, lots of them are running forward. Don't tell me he's trying to... Why are you running all the way back? It's probably better to go back into your own land. You're losing 1 tick of combat power. And now I think he's mostly trying to clear the Axe Warriors. And Lemon is now pulling back again. Yeah. You would lose 1 tick of combat power for your bowman, but you have mostly swords. Where's his so little Axe Warriors? Axe Warriors really could help this army. It's gonna be spotted by the watchtower. And Lemon pulls back. Lemon knows he did significant eco damage. The Starling River just doesn't allow you to build many fishes. It just doesn't. Even water would be difficult. Ooh. A fisher that can work. And yeah, Lemon sees the swordsman, at least sees some of them, and is pulling the Axe Warriors to the top front as they be the best counter. And we see Jessen's... okay, I have to check. Are we still on 7 weaponsmiths? No, we are on more. We are on 8, we are on 9, we are on 10 weaponsmiths for Jessen. And on the other hand, we are on 2, we are on 4, we are on 6, we are on 8, we are on 10, we are on 11. We are on 12, we are on 13. Now, 13 weaponsmiths that I'm 100% certain they must have not been running constantly, as if that was the case, Jessen would not have a soldier's advantage right now. There is few weapons in storage for Lemon, but it's the weapons that have been produced. It's not the weapons that are like, it's not a stored up amount of weapons. It's the thing that's just, yeah. Think settlers. Oh, Lemon. Okay, so here we see also the issue that Lemon has a settlers shortage, what it seems. I mean, he has large economy, he has all the gold, which makes could be a reason why the weaponsmiths aren't running. It costs you mana, usually being in a settlers shortage. I think honey seems to be mostly carried from the beekeepers I know of and see. And yeah, Jessen tried to push forward a bit, realize, the Axe Warriors there. Might not actually want to engage there. Jessen takes a tiny bit of a good trade here at the front. With, I would assume, are some bowmen that took some lovely mountain pathing, probably standing here and being sent there. They're like, oh, let's walk all the way around. Has this bowman here now, does as well. Yeah, kills pretty much exactly even. Yeah, wait, it is actually exactly even. 460 to 460 kills. 267 tier 3 soldiers for Lemon against 220 tier 3 soldiers for Jessen. But, that was early tick, increased a bit. But 128 tier 2 soldiers for Jessen as well. Overall, there are more gold bars on the field for Jessen than there are for Lemon, which is concerning. Oh. Interesting thing these the casters saw here. Some more offensively orientated towers to not be sniped by some wandering swordsmen around, you know. We see there are around 100 swordsmen. What if they just be walking around here, taking a little bit of a walk, and then they encounter land, might go around, they encounter land, and then are like, oh, well, we're at the towers, and you lost. That's why we have some more offensive. These towers, no matter from where Jessen would come into Lemon's land, his army is at these towers before any swordsman would, any enemy swordsman would be. I did see this while going around here, and I do want to check real quick if we have any more interesting things that we can see on either players' perspectives. A few here as well. And we see that he pulls these around. He might want to do a bluff here. Feel confident, stay forward, but not actually do anything. And I mean, Lemon has this watchtower, and like if we look at Lemon's vision, Lemon sees all the bowmen. He did see that the swordsman pulled back. He also sees that the ships don't see anything. I think he could have a kind of scouting ship down here a bit further. Would be quite nice. Yeah, I mean, now he's losing vision. Ah, he's a watchtower there, I guess. And yeah, Jessen is relatively confidently pushing forward here with just a bowman. So you might feel like there might be a surprise behind this. But generally said, if you look at this, you'd be like, oh, I win this for sure. And I think that is what Lemon is thinking right now, right this moment. So let's, before they actually start to fight, go back to full vision. I'm gonna, first few fights, first few shots will probably be fired. Yeah, Jessen is pulling back. He knows he has way less. He knows he just pulled away all the swordsmen. And Lemon is now doing a move that could be dangerous. But Lemon is notified. Lemon just now should have gotten... Actually, I think there were some units near this area before, so he might not actually... Oh no, they're there. LOL! OP! Right in the vision corner. But yeah, now we see all of these swordsmen come in, and Jessen, Lemon shouldn't panic. He should pull stuff back. Especially the Axis should be running back. They are faster than the bowmen, and they should. Jessen, now that's the right thing. He is engaging at the front to keep his enemy occupied. Lemon now wants to take a good engagement. He's pulling back a bit. He's doing stuff. He pulls it back a bit, but everything now he pushes everything in. Jessen could now do like a running move again. He might want to wait till all the Axes are dead and then run again. Oh, the soldiers there are still running. Swordsmen run straight to the left. I think they're heading towards this. Them heading towards this is a little bit unfortunate that there's a tower here that he would want to also take. Kind of have to take both. Oh, Jessen is using mana up here. Little bit surprised by that. Like at this point, like you could have also pulled your swordsman there. Oh, these are not being used, yeah. Have these gone on the move? Nope. Still has a siege in this area. And Lemon did ult forward a bit. X-Warriors are tanking for the bowmen. 4 rows of bowmen against like 3 dying quick and fast. 1 fear. Not really the highest value, as the fight is lost already. The swordsman now encountering that there's a tower there as well. And he is engaging. Engaging with all of it. Lemon did save up a bit of his mana. He saved up around 75 mana. I think Jessen notices this exists and decided that he doesn't care. His goal is this. Issue with not caring is that he will just not win. And this is a move that is so committed that if it doesn't win, he's probably losing. You see right now, Jessen is way behind on the total amount of soldiers. The trade he just took was awful. And Lemon feels safe. He just casted some deers here. I guess, I mean, if the Hunter Battery would be occupied, he couldn't anymore. And yeah, we have Jessen's swordsman building an arc to kill them all, to come in from all sides. I think he should have clicked a bit further out. There's swordsman there. Have those? No, they are not those. Oh, they're making sure that there are no towers on the other side, but there's a tower there. There's just this safety tower that is, yeah. He reaches the barracks now with all of his units, and there is no tower there anymore. And occupying these barracks won't win him the game. Yeah, now we see a freeze. That will make the fight significantly worse. These are all tier 2 soldiers. He's now ulting these away. He's not even trying to fight with them anymore. That's the kind of move that is either game winning or game losing. And in this case, I think it's the latter. Another trade that went in Lemon's favor. And that quite actively. And he won't win with this at all. Since this tower is standing strong, he has barracks from multiple angles that can produce towards it. He has these his towers being built over there. And while I think Jessen, even if he had scouted this tower, he has scouted this tower, he will conquer it. 4 swords definitely are enough to kill 1 tier 3 bowman. 1 tier 2 swords, I should say. And there are no other towers. Wait, actually. I mean, he hasn't. Lemon isn't really doing a move. He has a fish income now. I want to check Jessen's perspective. I think he knows, or feels very certain. Like, we don't see this land in between, but he has checked everywhere once. I'm 100% certain now. He knows that there are no towers here in all of this area. He doesn't have what it, like, it seems like he doesn't have a priest anywhere close by. Unfortunate, because that, ladies and gentlemen, could have been the play. If we had a priest that, you know, it's just like a priest kind of walking in here, like it went in with the swordsman, it kind of fell behind, it didn't really care, it just chilled out here, and then it just like kind of hides here in the trees and comes in after this back here was successful, towers were crushed. He walks in, he walks up, he freezes, he uses Thoth Hammer, he walks a bit further, he uses Thoth Hammer again and wins the game. Now, by now, those are 2 towers, it used to be 1, so it would have been easier with just 1 tower. There didn't used to be a tower over there, and there didn't used to be a tower over there. Now the play doesn't work anymore, but that could have been a play how this move would have won the game. In the end, it's always worth it to keep a priest or 2 with your army. And I think, as we do now have a statistic here as well, yeah, there are only 3 priests available by now for Jessen. Oh, wow. Jessen realized that his economy is not running as nicely as he wishes it to be running. Courts GG. It was the one last move to either win or lose. And he lost. I don't know why he ignored the tower. I'm like 100% certain that the tower was in vision range. And yeah, after he realized there are no gold bars, he didn't use lots of his mana. There's no gold ore, I guess. He didn't use lots of his mana recently on economy, mostly on combat. That's Crush, and Lemon wins the 3rd game, is now 3rd place. White, I wouldn't say it's an upset in total. Lemon definitely can be considered the better player out of the 2, and how the matchup was laid out, you would have expected him to win the Roman game, and it was more like the thought that he might as well win the Mayan game. But he did actually, and that's the upset, he win the Viking mirror match. I didn't expect it. It is really surprising to me, and he won it actively and relatively convincingly by just doing a few better plays, I'd say. Especially the chips at the top, killing the fishes is, I mean, it's huge. Like if we scroll down to the food economy, yeah, we see 200 fish less. 200 fish, I think gold mine is roughly 25% efficient. So you'd get like 2.5 fish out of a gold mine, out of 2.5 gold out of a fish. So that's lots of gold ore. And I mean, we can probably see it in the gold statistic. Yeah, we can see it very actively. We're missing around 600 gold. And don't only just miss 600 gold, it's also visible in the quality. It's way less quality sorted. With that, I will go into the interview and translate for you.
Vicky und Troja. Beide Völker bei mir sind nicht gerade gut oder geübt. Und Troja kann man auf vielen Karten einfach nicht gut spielen. Da gibt es Karten, da ist Troja sehr unangenehm. Und Vicky kann man doch irgendwie auf den allermeisten Karten spielen. Und dann habe ich mich auf Vicky konzentriert.
Okay. I think the question was about why Lemon decided for Trojans or Vikings.
Nee, also die 2 Games heute, die waren unter aller Sau.
Okay, so yeah, probably question initial was why he picked Vikings over Trojans, and it seems that his thought process was that Trojans have some maps where they're literally garbage on. Vikings don't have that much, in his opinion, apparently, and that's why he focused more on Vikings. Apparently,
ähnlich wie im Spiel 1, das Makro, was unter dem Platz ein bisschen leidet.
Apparently, he had Jagdtiger, apparently one of the finalists. Apparently was coaching Lemon. Now the question for Jessen is, Jessen again was very actively going up front, and somehow his economy wasn't running perfectly, and yeah, Lemon was really Jessen felt like his economy actually should have been okay. He just failed fish. And yeah. King Cat right now is just going in deeper about it and now asking about the warship, if Jessen was backing it with how he felt about it, and Jessen's answer is he wasn't thinking about it.
Wieder in den Griff bekommen, also vor PT war es ja noch viel schlimmer. Ich glaube, danach ist es so halbwegs gegangen. Dann habe ich mir auch gedacht, wenn ich die Fische immer nachsetze und der jedes Mal 4 Mana verpulvert, ist das vielleicht auch gar nicht so schlecht.
Yeah. And then he already had fish in a better state. Like I was saying, he shouldn't have fish, he shouldn't have gold, but that's why he had fish and gold for quite a bit actually still. And then he rebuilt them all the time to use up the mana. Yeah, now it's the talk about the end.
50 Level 2 Schwerter insgesamt auf dem Feld gehabt. Ich persönlich habe mich gefragt, was passiert wäre, wenn du statt Schwerter da zum Beispiel Level 2 Äxte gemacht hättest und damit dann gegen die Bogenschützen von Lem einfach von mir aus auch einen offenen Fight gesucht hättest, anstatt auf den Desperation Snipe zu
gehen. King Cat now talks about what I was kind of wondering a bit about as well, when he's wondering, like, he felt like maybe on the open field he could have actually taken a fight with like Axe Warriors, Tier 2 Axe Warriors against the Bowman as well, and might have actually been able to take a good trade. And yeah, now the talk is about, like, was it swords? Was that already planned, the desperation play? And that's the answer, yes, that's exactly what it was. Swords are slightly faster than the Axe Warriors, and with swords being slightly faster, they are the better play, and he knew his gold is just not gonna do anything anymore, like he's not gonna have gold. He didn't really feel like going into the long play anymore. And now the question is for Lemon, did he kind of sweat
nach vorne weiter zur Front und hast.
Did he sweat about it anyway, about like the desperation play, talking about all of that, and now we're gonna
Oder was passiert so
see.
in der Minute, in den paar Sekunden, wo sich die Situation so entwickelt hatte. Also ich hatte richtig Angst um dich da, muss ich sagen.
Kinkhead was very anxious about Lemon apparently.
Schwierig. Ich habe mich jetzt nicht mega confident gefühlt, aber ich hatte jetzt auf jeden Fall keinen Muffensausen, muss ich sagen. Ich hatte die 2
Okay.
Türme jeweils hinten und
Lemon
vorne.
wasn't
Hatte auch einige
actively
Äxte und Schwerter.
scared. He didn't feel too
Und da
confident.
hinten ist es so saueng.
He didn't feel like fully confident, but he
Und
wasn't too scared
Ich habe schon
either.
gesehen, dass er da vorne dran vorbeizieht und dass es eventuell gar nicht gespottet hat. Er
Yeah.
hatte wirklich sehr viele einzelne Trüppchen im Land rumstehen und der Turm vorne, da wo ich die Kaserne nachgezogen habe, oberhalb des Berges, sind auch Türme in der Zeit fertig geworden. Und das alles, dass er die Fights gewinnt und die 4 Türme reißt und der Turm da vorne nicht fertig wird. Also ich muss ehrlich sagen, ich habe es ziemlich locker gesehen, aber vielleicht ist es auch
Ja.
eine
Lemon was
krasse
relatively
Fehleinschätzung von
relaxed
mir und,
as he felt like
ich,
the
hab glücklicherweise dann da nicht verloren.
the fact Jessen would win the fight at the front tower, at the front tower, at the back towers, and also like take them and then the towers forward on the top barracks there, not finishing up in time. But like all of that would have been unrealistic. With the tower at the top as well, that was also there. So that's why he felt relatively confident about defending. It just felt unrealistic for it to work. And now Slayer's like, yeah, as long as there's no praise,
Priest habe ich mitgeschickt, aber der war dann irgendwann auf einmal weg.
yeah, as long as there's no priest, then it works. And
Turm von dem vorbeigelaufen, hat den dann abgerissen. Was auch mit dem alten Mann leider. Der ist nicht ganz hinterhergekommen, glaube ich, den Schwertern.
So the analysis there is that Jessen did send a priest with him,
Auch die letzten
and the priest
Wochen,
apparently died
gegangen.
on the way there.
Zeitlich,
Like
hatte Lem
started
den
there, Jessen all of a sudden, oh,
Fight
no priest anymore.
sehr deutlich gewonnen. Diesen Vorteil-
Reason what Slayer apparently saw is that it walked past the tower, Lemon crushed the tower, used the soldier, killed the priest, and then there was no priest.
Lem, so ist es Déjà-vu zum ersten Spiel hin? Oder wie hast du das aufgefasst, dass du da auf einmal deinen ganzen Push erstmal weggeintet hattest?
Yeah, now it's they're talking about what I was
Ja,
saying in the beginning, kind of déjà vu first game.
Ich habe mir ab ans letzte Game gedacht, oder ans
And
erste
it's-
Game besser gesagt. Wo
Ja.
wir Römer gegen Troja gespielt
And it's
hatten.
quite
Das
a
war, glaub ich,
clear
das erste,
yes.
ne? Ja.
Lemon did have a déjà vu when he
Ja,
when he
hab-
took
hab
the first
gepennt, also
fight,
ich
got
wollte
into
mich
enemy
einfach
land.
aufstellen, entspannt und,
And then
hab
just
15
got pushed out
Sekunden
again.
da hingeguckt und stand da auf einmal in einer Minenwand, dann kam das Mana rein und bevor ich da über den Berg durch die Minen zurückziehe mit dem ganzen Mana,
Ja.
habe ich mir gedacht,
Lemon
scheiß
was
drauf, ich hab
relatively
keinen Scheiß
was relatively relaxed, just standing
Das
there.
sieht nicht gut aus, der Fight.
Doing some
aber
stuff.
ich fight das jetzt
And
einfach
then all of a
aus
sudden
und,
he was standing in
das
a mine wall, was fighting, the mana came, so he didn't really want to retreat, just took the fight, but already knew that it was not the play anymore.
Die Produktion dahinter hat halt nicht mehr gut
Ja.
funktioniert, weil eben Fisch sehr eng war, Goldminen absolut nicht mehr durchliefen und auch das Eisen dann immer mehr zum Problem wurde. Und ja, alles in allem konntest du Lem in die Situation lang genug aussitzen und ja, am Ende
Yeah. Conclusion of Kinkhead kinda is the end Jessen's economy didn't thrive without fish, without gold, and Lemon just kinda sit in there long enough that yeah, his economy was stable enough, he produced enough soldiers, he kept it going. Ich habe eine Frage. Ich glaube, ich hatte am Anfang gesehen, Lemon, dass du nur also am Anfang irgendwie 5 Spitzhacken oder so in deiner Wecke als allererstes eingestellt hast. War das ein Missklick?
Das war komplett Krise. Ich wollte 9 extra einstellen, ich habe 9 Spitzhacken eingestellt und das ist mir erst bei der 6. Spitzhacke oder so aufgefallen. Das war, das war scheiße und das war nicht gewollt. Das war ein fetter Fehler und hat mich auch ein bisschen Zeit gekostet.
Ja, als ich das gesehen habe, war ich auch sehr, sehr verwundert, ob du da irgendwie in einem Habit warst, weil du irgendwie Troja gespielt hattest oder so. Erstmal 5 Spitzhacken eingestellt hast oder sah auf jeden Fall nicht gut aus.
Ich fand aber beim Casting sah es gar nicht so schlimm aus, weil zumindest als du dann auf Exe umgestellt hattest, war eh noch kein Holzfäller fertig. Also du warst ja recht
Doch,
spät
doch, ich hatte
mit deiner Erweiterung dran. Also sein, dass dann
Meldung
so die
hatte ich.
ersten, ja, dass dann vielleicht die ersten 2 Mal kurz umgesetzt waren, aber
Ja, hätten aber zum Beispiel auch eher dann Planierer sein können, anstatt Spitzhacken.
natürlich, aber wenn er sagt, er hat Spitzhacken statt Exe eingestellt, dann wären es auch keine Planierer geworden.
Das ist durchaus korrekt, ja, das stimmt, ja.
Aber
Okay, yeah, I was asking about the pickaxes at the very beginning, and yes, there were thicks. He wanted to
Ja, und Durchliegst
make
ja auch
9
nicht.
axes, and instead he put in 9 pickaxes. Was
Also die
Dann hat-
Karten,
very,
die sie steht.
he really didn't like it, and he only noticed
Danach
it
hat uns
at
aber
the 6
sein
pickaxe, and
Game-Setup für die Karte sehr gefallen.
there-
Wirklich sehr vielen Wäldern immer mindestens 2 Holzfäller zugange gehabt.
and there he had,
Dementsprechend
like he did run into a short axe shortage there. There's few
leicht gemacht.
lumberjacks still finished up, and there was not yet an axe for it. Wasn't the craziest deal as Slayer was saying, but yeah, it definitely was. It was a misclick essentially, and not what he wanted to do. Kingcat now talking about how they were actually quite happy with the late game setup, although the early game didn't went smooth and clean. Late game setup of Lemon was relatively clean. He did do a good transition into like some iron mines, meat battery, and getting rid of lots and lots of forest. He managed to get fish ready, and like generally he had a pretty stable, strong production overall. And yeah, Kingcat just
Ja, danke. Also ich war natürlich
complimented
ein
him
bisschen
for
dadurch,
that
dass
late
ich,
game.
Ich habe sehr viele Holzfäller natürlich dann auch deswegen gebaut. Bin auf die 9. Säge, bin mit den Werkzeugen nicht hinterhergekommen und habe dann natürlich unglaublich viel Zeit gelassen. Aber fürs Late Game war das natürlich dann wiederum ganz gut. Und auch die ganzen Wälder, die ich erschlossen habe, die Jäger, die ich da gesetzt habe zusätzlich, die haben so gecarried.
Oh,
Also ich habe
and
ja Jessen immer wieder die Dinge abgeschossen, aber ich brauchte gefühlt auch, weiß ich nicht, eine halbe Stunde lang, oder ist jetzt übertrieben, aber ich brauchte so lange kein Mana. Also ich musste
apparently
so
the
Dinge
hunters
zaubern,
that
das
he
hat die
placed
ganze
in
Zeit
all the
falsch.
forests
Ich bin
that
auch zwischendurch
he
abends
conquered
schon
all over the
erschrocken.
place,
Scheiße, ich habe
apparently
jetzt seit Ewigkeiten keine Rehe mehr
were
gezaubert.
carrying him
Guck
quite a
da
lot.
hin
He
und die
didn't
Jäger liegen voll.
had to cast
Das
that
war schon
much,
sehr angenehm.
and yeah, apparently and he had like situations where he was like, oh shit, I didn't cast for quite a while. That didn't actually hurt him. There was still meat around.
Zurückblickst, fürs nächste Turnier vielleicht ein bisschen mehr Geduld und Vertrauen ins Makro-Game. Das wäre vielleicht so die Hausaufgabe fürs nächste Turnier, die man dir vielleicht ans Herz legen wollte. Weil, obwohl du ja, optisch gesehen vielleicht nicht so ganz das geile Late-Game-Setup hattest wie Lem, warst du trotzdem mit den verbauten Ressourcen nach wie vor einfach vorne gewesen. Und ich glaube, es ist eigentlich auch nicht viel zu tun, um dich in eine Situation zu bringen, wo du einfach gechillt warten kannst und nicht auf einmal deine Armee im gegnerischen Land dann in einem schlechten Fight auf einmal verlieren müsstest. Und einfach ähnlich wie im General-Game, wo du mit Wikinger gegen Römer gespielt hattest, einfach weiter skalierst und deine Chance im gegnerischen Land dann aber auch bei
Yeah, Kingcat is kind of like giving a little bit of an advice for like a next tournament for Jessen, but like trying to believe a little bit more in his own late game. As Jessen doesn't play too bad at the late game. He doesn't, and is like gets caught in enemy's land here now quite a bit. And now the question, like, how does Jessen feel about his own?
Aber ich denke mir halt, dass Lemon so PT nicht so stark ist und deswegen wollte ich früher Druck machen.
Okay, so Jessen wasn't really underestimating his own late game. He was more feeling, like, was more feeling that Lemon at PT isn't that strong and wanted to use that timing.
Kann es dann schnell passieren, dass man da in einen schlechten Fight reinkommt.
But yeah, in the end it bite him more often than not.
Fight genommen. Aber man kann vielleicht auch sagen, dass du jetzt vielleicht auch einen ziemlich schlechten Fight genommen hattest, weil du ziemlich unorganisiert mit deinen Bögen und Äxten, die alle durcheinander standen,
Yeah.
rein engaged bist, dann zwischen Steinen-
Something that I mentioned as well, like now Kingcat is talking about the fight where it's like, Lemon took a pretty good fight, but realistically also Jessen took a really bad fight. He very unorganized everything in together there. Axes were kinda, like,
Es war schon
going in one by
sehr viel
one,
das
swords going in one by
Ja, vor allem aber
one.
auch keine KK, darf man auch nicht vergessen. Also du hast 119, Lemon hatte nicht mal 107 defensiv für seine Bogenschützen.
Yeah.
Das war dann schon ein bisschen überraschend, wie deutlich er dich dann da weggeräumt hat.
It was mostly the engagement, as we were also talking about how combat power difference was actually 2 ticks. Quite massive, but overall it just wasn't the fight well taken.
Das Finale bevor. Und ja, soweit ich weiß, am 13. Freitag.
Another talk is about the future.
Was jetzt, glaub ich,
We have a third place, Lemon being it. Congrats to him.
Du hast ja
Getting
gemeint,
third
du hast
place.
irgendwie ein Vorprogramm.
The
Genau, wir müssen uns ein bisschen noch unterhalten, ob der Stream dann jetzt pünktlich oder in Anführungszeichen pünktlich 17 Uhr starten wird oder ob er vielleicht ein bisschen eher losgehen wird. Ich habe auf jeden Fall Spaß daran, ein bisschen noch vorzubereiten für das Spiel, um hier die Spielstile beider Spieler noch ein bisschen vorzustellen, auch ein paar Statistiken hier aufzubereiten, um hier ein bisschen
That
Hype
would be
noch
interesting.
fürs Finale zu generieren. Also
So,
eine gewisse Pre-Show
yeah.
werde ich versuchen vorzubereiten.
On
und,
13th of March
ob die
will
dann
be
jetzt
the
aber,
final, the
vor
first 2
17 Uhr
games, and
stattfinden wird
then
oder ab
on
17
the
Uhr.
14th, the day after
werde ich
that, will be
dann,
the last 3 games,
werde
if
ich
it's
dann
gonna
noch
go all the
absprechen
distance of
mit
5 games.
den Spielern.
We have
Aber die Zuschauer werden auf jeden Fall
the first game is
rechtzeitig
supposed to start at 5 p.m.
informiert werden.
On Saturday, and on Sunday it's supposed to start on 4 p.m.
Ja, und
That are the
ansonsten,
times
können
with
wir gespannt sein,
King
dass
Cat
wir
doing on the German cast a kind of a
unter
pre-show
der
that
Woche
I'm wanting to
ein
kind of
bisschen
look into. Maybe I'm gonna
ja,
try to
noch
do
ein paar
something else as
Showpitches
well.
organisieren
Try to
werden.
get some other casters as well in there. Try to not cast everything alone. Maybe a game or two, but I want to at least get like a few casters. I'll actually work on that, as otherwise it was only like somebody asked me if they could, like, if I want a caster, co-caster or something. I was like, oh sure, why not? There will actually try to work and get somebody with me, get some more input, and maybe that pre-show will try to do maybe some translation. Maybe I'll try to ask him if I had a bit, so I could do something similar. We'll see exactly how that goes, and that might vary the starting time of the actual stream, like it's
auch
talked
nochmal
about.
ein Team finden, das gegen den frisch geborenen ZBS-Clan antreten möchte.
Yeah, now that was
Tatsächlich,
also
sorry, dass ich nochmal unterbreche, genau andersrum. Wir schaffen es leider nicht als Gruppe am Wochenende gemeinsam, aber SEK aus Chris, Thor und Kamshi, die 3 suchen noch Gegner. Wir schaffen es leider selber nicht.
Das ist RIP und GG. Aber Kamshi ist jetzt offiziell SEK oder ist er ein Stand-in?
Ich wusste es auch nicht, aber Kamshi scheint schon länger SEK zu sein.
Eieiei, das ist wild. Aber gut, ja. Hab schon länger den Siedler 4 Transfermarkt nicht mehr im Auge behalten und ja, jetzt
they're talking about some
wir
random clan
nächstes
stuff.
kriegen.
As there's a show match
Sehen wir auf jeden Fall
kind of
nächstes
planned, like it's planned that there's like, since it now is like 2 weeks, a little bit less till the final is happening, there are plans of like maybe getting a show match, like a team show match organized. Nothing concrete yet. It's kind of planned to be on the next weekend, so like the weekend before the final. If something in that department will happen, it will be announced on the Discord. It's not anything certain, nothing concrete yet. And they were talking a bit about how some clans apparently had some new members and stuff. Nothing too important, and yeah, we'll see if there's gonna be a match. I probably won't be casting it, as I'm wanting to prepare myself a bit more for the final and take a little bit of a break, do some other things. I've been spending quite a lot of time in this tournament. And
Aber ich habe auch nicht so wirklich dran gearbeitet, um euch da reinzubaiten in Situationen, wo man mal ein salziges Wort über den anderen verlieren könnte.
And yeah, I think they're ending it here, so I'm gonna fully deafen myself. I'm not ending it as well. I hope you all enjoyed it. This was the last game for third place. Lemon won it, and we're gonna see each other again on the 13th of March, 5 p.m. on YouTube as well. You can join. You can go to the link in the description and go to the description below and use the link there to go to my Twitch channel, and you will be able to watch it live at 5 p.m. on the 13th of March. And that's when the final is gonna happen. Videos will be uploaded soon after. I hope you all enjoyed this today. Hope you enjoyed the 3 games, the banger series, not gonna lie, like all of the matches. I think the second game was the least interesting, but the matches overall, all of them were pretty close and interesting, and it was a banger match. And I'm excited to see the finals. We have the 2 players that we expected to be there. And yeah, I mean, I am really excited to see who's winning it. As it's like we have the old world champion that is defending his title against really an upcoming prodigy, essentially. Like he has been in the community for ages, but he only recently he adopted a playstyle where he really got into these like normal lobbies and just destroyed them. Got like on a really like high rating level, like people rated them as good as Slayer. Not because he played as good in terms of like building up an economy, just because of how he used his army. And nowadays he builds up his economy really good as well, and he got into this disgusting breed of a player where you just like you don't really feel like you have an advantage anywhere. And we're gonna see if Slayer's able to whittle down the Storm. I wanted to use something else, but yeah, just is able to survive what Jagdtiger is gonna throw at him, as I'm excited to see what Jagdtiger is gonna throw at him. And with that, I hope I gave you some exciting words for the final. I'm really eager to see it. I'm excited for it myself. And I wish you all a great rest of your day. And with that, till next time, the final. Bye bye.